right, Ocho. According to ESPN Cleveland, two different sources told them that Shedeur Sanders will play for the Browns this season. One said Shedeur will start at least 4 games of the season, no matter what. Those final 4 games against the Bears, Bills, Steelers, and Bengals. The other source said that Shedeur may take over even sooner than that. Ocho, what do you make of this?
I take it with a grain of salt. If you watch the Browns when they beat the Dolphins, it really had nothing really to do with the quarterback position. The defense played so goddamn out their mind, and practically won that game. I say they give Dillon Gabriel maybe another week, maybe 2, maybe even 3, because that is the person they chose to be the backup quarterback to Flacco. It's a lot of football left, Unc. It's a lot of football left.
Yeah,
and he
sure.
has to play extremely bad, maybe the next game or the next 2 games, before I think they make a choice and they move to Shedeur. Because once they make a move to the third quarterback,
you can't be flip-flopping quarterback. You can't
flip-flopping back and forth.
And just like that, the entire football world tilted. You could feel the energy shift. Cleveland, a team that's been searching for consistency, might just hand the keys to a rookie. Not just any rookie, Coach Prime's son, Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's slow this down, because this story isn't just about football. It's about timing, trust, and a young quarterback who's been doubted since he first touched a college field. When Shannon Sharpe and Chad, Ocho Cinco, Johnson sit down on Nightcap, you know it's not gonna be just casual talk. It's raw, it's real, and it's full of those "did they just say that?" moments. UNC starts it off calm but sharp. According to 2 different sources, Shedeur will play this season. One says he'll start at least 4 games, no matter what. Those final 4, Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. Ocho laughs. You can almost see that trademark smirk. He says, "Man, I take it with a grain of salt." If you watch the Browns when they beat the Dolphins, that wasn't about quarterback play. That defense played out their mind. He's not wrong. The Browns' defense has been suffocating all season. But what's interesting here isn't the defense, it's the growing belief that Shedeur is the next man up. Because when insiders in Cleveland start whispering about a quarterback switch this early, it's not just smoke, it's the first spark before the blaze. And here's the kicker. Ocho's logic makes sense. Dillon Gabriel was chosen to back up Joe Flacco. So unless Gabriel completely falls apart, they might give him another week or 2. Maybe 3. But once that window closes, the Sanders era could begin. Once they make that move to the third quarterback, you can't go back. That's where Shannon jumps in. UNC, with his signature fire, looks at the camera and says, "If you make another QB change, that's 2 in 1 season. You really trying to make 3 quarterback changes? You see what happened with the first one, it wasn't the right decision." And that line hits. Because he's right. The Browns have already shuffled quarterbacks like a deck of cards. Flacco's veteran presence brought stability, sure. But Dillon Gabriel? That was the "let's see if he's ready" move. Now the question is, what happens when the "see if he's ready" phase is over? What happens when Cleveland realizes it's time to test the future instead of surviving the present? What happens when Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion "Primetime" Sanders, finally gets his shot in the NFL? That's not just a quarterback swap. That's a moment in football history. Because like Shannon says, once you shift again, you can't keep flip-flopping. The locker room loses faith, the offense loses rhythm, and the fans start to wonder if the coaches even know who their guy is. But then, Shannon drops one of those classic UNC-style bars. He's talking about how Cleveland traded away their guy, how they shipped one QB to a team that needed him. He says, you give a team that's quarterback-deprived a guy who's not mobile, but he can throw it. And listen, that's UNC saying what a lot of analysts won't. Cleveland might have overthought this whole thing. They had pieces. They had rhythm. They had opportunity. And now, they're staring down another quarterback debate. Every time you change quarterbacks, you're not just changing who throws the ball, you're changing the heart of the team. And you can hear the respect in Shannon's tone when he brings up Shedeur. Because behind the laughter, behind the rumors, there's genuine admiration. He knows what Shedeur's built through, the pressure of being Deion's son, the critics calling him too polished, too confident, or just another college kid with hype. But Shedeur's been built for moments like this. Even Ocho, who loves to clown around, gets serious for a second. He says, "You heard Prime say it. Shedeur's time is gonna come. When it comes, just be ready." That line is everything, because that's what every young quarterback dreams about. That call, the shot. Ocho continues, "My brother told me, John Elway's gonna call your number. When he calls, pick up that phone." And that's what Shedeur's been waiting for. That moment when the NFL says, "All right, kid, let's see if you're built for this." So let's pause for a second, and let me ask you, the viewer, backhand index pointing right, do you think Cleveland should start Shedeur now, or wait until those final 4 games? Backhand index pointing right, is he ready for NFL pressure, or should the Browns protect him until next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate isn't ending anytime soon.
But look, you heard Time say that, look, Shedeur time is going to come, and when it comes, just be ready. He said it's going to happen, but just be ready. And we all go through that. Being a low-round draft pick, it's like, wait, my brother told me John Elway's going to call your number. When he calls, just make sure you're ready.
Pick up that phone.
And I hope when he gets that call, he comes in there and he shows that, hey, you got a quarterback and you can build with me. We won't know until we see it.
It sounds like just a story, but think about it. That's Shedeur right now, sitting on the tarmac, waiting for the coaches to say, "It's go time." Jet lagged or not, ready or not, you run those sprints, because opportunity doesn't wait for you to rest. In the NFL, you don't get to sleep through your moment. You sprint when they call your name. And as Shannon and Ocho start laughing about those travel days, it's almost symbolic. They've both been through it. They've been the young guys told to stay ready, and the vets trying to guide the next one up. You can tell both of them want to see Shedeur succeed. But they're also warning him. They're saying, when that phone rings, don't flinch. Because whether it's against the Bears, Bills, Steelers, or Bengals, Shedeur's introduction to the NFL won't be easy. Those are 4 defenses that live to rattle young quarterbacks. But that's also where legends are made. Because sometimes all it takes is one game, one throw, one moment to shift how an entire league sees you. And maybe, just maybe, those final 4 games will be Shedeur's season preview. What do you think, Gridiron family? Are the Browns making a mistake by hesitating, or would throwing Shedeur into the fire ignite something this franchise desperately needs? So as the Nightcap conversation drifts from Shedeur to travel stories, you can tell the energy's shifted, but it's not just small talk. There's something deeper beneath the jokes, the laughter, the memories. Because when UNC and Ocho start talking about those long flights to Tokyo, Berlin, Barcelona, it's not just nostalgia. It's perspective. Shannon says, "Man, we landed in Tokyo, wives went straight to the hotel, we went straight to the field to run sprints." You can hear the disbelief in Ocho's voice. Wait, what? They both laugh, but there's a message hiding in that story. It's about preparation, endurance, discipline, the kind of grind that nobody sees but everybody feels when the lights come on Sunday afternoon. You don't become great by comfort, you become great by conditioning. That's exactly what Shedeur Sanders is facing right now. His moment might not be comfortable, but it's coming. And when it does, all that discipline, the early mornings with Coach Prime, the pressure of being under a national microscope, it's going to pay off. Because even when you're jet-lagged, even when you're tired, even when you're the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart, you keep running sprints. And that's what UNC and Ocho are saying without saying it. They might not know if Shedeur will start the final 4 games. They might not know if Cleveland's ready to roll that dice. But they know what it means to be ready when the call comes. Ocho breaks into a grin and says, "Hey, that's what you call business. Straight business. Fly in play, fly out." That line right there? That's Shedeur's mindset. He's not here for the fame. He's here for the work. And Shannon, the Hall of Famer who's seen it all, nods. Because he knows that same discipline is what separates the flash in the pan from the franchise cornerstone. But then, the tone shifts again. They start clowning about life, about relationships, about how once you get older, the options get slimmer. It sounds like comedy, but if you listen closely, they're really talking about opportunity. And just like that, they're laughing again. But there's wisdom in that laughter. Because that's exactly what NFL teams deal with every season. You can't wait for perfect. You can't sit around hoping for the ideal quarterback. You work with what you got, and you develop him into the leader you need. There's no perfect time to start a quarterback. There's only the moment you decide to believe in him. That's the Browns right now. They can keep waiting for perfect, or they can start building something real. And Shedeur Sanders might be that something. Because for all the talk about Dillon Gabriel, for all the safe choices and cautious planning, Shedeur represents something the Browns haven't had in years: hope. Real, raw, unfiltered hope. And the truth is, this team's been through enough chaos to last a lifetime. Multiple quarterback changes, constant uncertainty, a defense carrying the load every week. It's time for stability. But stability doesn't mean staying the same. Sometimes, it means taking a leap of faith. So when Shannon says, "Are you really trying to make 3 quarterback changes in one season?" He's not just criticizing. He's questioning the why. Why keep switching if you don't have a long-term vision? Why not invest those final 4 games into the young guy you drafted to be your future? Why not give Shedeur the chance to show he belongs on Sundays? And here's the thing, even Ocho, who's usually the voice of wait and see, ends up agreeing in his own way. He tells Shannon, "My brother told me, when that phone rings, be ready. You never know when your number's called." That's mentorship right there. That's experience speaking through laughter. And it's almost poetic, 2 former stars, sitting under studio lights, talking about a young man who's been preparing for this spotlight his entire life. Every legend starts with a rumor, but rumors turn real when preparation meets opportunity. So let's picture it. The final 4 games. Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. 4 heavyweight defenses. For chances to make a statement. That's a trial by fire. But it's also a chance to shift the entire narrative. Because if Shedeur steps on that field, and even looks composed, that's a win. If he commands that offense, moves the chains, keeps his composure when the pocket collapses, that's growth. And if he throws even 1 touchdown that makes fans jump out their seats, that's legacy starting to breathe. But let's be honest, Cleveland fans are passionate, emotional, and hungry for something new. They've lived through heartbreak. They've lived through false promises. Maybe that's why this rumor hits so hard. Because it's not just about a quarterback, it's about belief. Belief that the next generation might finally give them what they've been waiting for. Cleveland doesn't just need a quarterback, it needs a heartbeat. And maybe that heartbeat beats to the rhythm of prime time. So, Gridiron family, let me ask you again. If you're the Browns, do you let Shedeur sit and learn, or do you unleash him now? Do you let him take his lumps, or do you protect him until next year? Because every decision carries risk. But sometimes, not taking a risk is the biggest mistake of all. As Shannon and Ocho start wrapping up their show, they joke about relationships, about the clearance rack, about getting older and shopping at Ross or Marshall's. It's hilarious, but beneath it, there's a truth that fits football perfectly. You can't always get the perfect pick, the flawless situation, or the ideal setup. You just make the best of what's in front of you, and you build. And that's what Shedeur's gonna have to do when that moment comes. From the ground up. The great ones don't wait for comfort, they create it. Because that's what his father did. That's what Dion built his whole career on. Confidence, readiness, and seizing the spotlight when nobody else dared to. And now, it's Shedeur's turn. You can hear Shannon's pride even through the jokes. Ocho's laughter hides respect. They both know, this kid's moment is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And when that moment hits, Cleveland better be ready for the noise. Because if Shedeur performs, even for 4 games, this conversation won't just stay in Cleveland. It'll echo through the entire NFL. It'll be ESPN segments, highlight reels, Twitter meltdowns, and NFL scouts rewatching every throw, every read, every snap. Because that's how fast the league moves. One week you're a rumor. The next, you're the headline. And Shedeur Sanders is walking that line right now. Pressure creates panic for some, but it creates diamonds for others. And if there's one thing we've learned from watching him, it's that Shedeur Sanders doesn't flinch under pressure. So Browns fans, NFL fans, and believers in the Prime legacy, buckle up. Because the countdown to those final 4 games just got real. The whispers are turning into questions. The questions are turning into expectations. And when that phone rings, the entire football world will be watching to see if Shedeur Sanders is ready to answer. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you're ready for more raw, unfiltered NFL talk, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload from Gridiron Insights. This is the home of Real football talk, drama, controversy, and heart, all in one place. Stay locked in. Stay ready. Because when Shedeur's moment comes, you'll want to say you saw it coming first.